Of course, your opinion matters, just not to me. That's all. Why are we charging people for the best things in life are free? Remember that song? Do you ever remember that? The moon, the stars belong to everyone, but the best things in life are free. Now everything has a price, even following the stars astrologically, and also the planets, taking trips, getting in an airplane. That's understandable. That's transportation. Taking a bus and a subway maybe to work, a train to visit a relative, gasoline in the car. You can understand all that. Toll booth, questionable. Why do we have 95? It's a federal highway, it's already paid for, and they found a way to put a toll booth on it by adding a lane that gets you faster. They do that in Florida and they're doing it in New York. No, California. They're doing California. Now, these lanes are supposed to be free lanes, and they're not. You pay. You pay to go on these highways if you want to give everybody who is going to work and stuck in traffic the finger while you're going faster. I think also the idea of paying to go to a beach and parking and paying to park to get onto the property where you can enjoy the parks, the state parks, paying admission to get in, taking your kids to the museum and the library. Everything has a fee. Everybody charges for everything. We are a subscription-based society. Even television used to be free over the air. You put an antenna or a coat hanger out the window and you watch TV and you watch the commercials. They used to pay for everything. That's what happened when the fights were on television from Madison Square Garden, brought to you by Pabst Blue Ribbon and Gillette. They paid for it. You didn't pay for that. Now you had to have a wire in your house so that you pay for the wire. And that wire brings you all the commercials, which you also pay for. They found a way to double team, that's what that is, because when AT&T was declared a monopoly, they were in everybody's home with the phone wire. All they had to do to get cable was to connect, but the government broke it up, and the cable companies came along and they started their own businesses. Comcast is one. They own NBC, they own Universal Pictures, they own lots of stuff, because everybody who has it has everything, and those who have nothing have less. That's the principle that's wrong. They take all of our savings and give us our kids back too, because we put everybody to work and they have drugs and alcohol issues, and they can no longer work. They can't make money. So what happens? The grandparents get the kids back. Oh boy, isn't that a wonderful treat? That at this age you're going to have 6 and 7-year-old kids in your house, and you're going to have to raise them because your daughters and your sons were not behaving. They didn't take care of their children. That song, "Teach Your Children." Teach them well, the Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young song, if you remember that one. I love songs because the songs used to sing about what we had to do or what we were doing. They reflected the society, even "Amen" by the Impressions. And Curtis Mayfield, wasn't that his name? The songs were, they were the story of our lives as they were unfolding. Now it's very difficult to get a hip-hop song that I can understand that gives me my rite of passage. But to the society right now, they understand that and they go along with it. It's a faster society. It's a quicker pace, and also a lot more. It's a lot meaner. I think the society is less interested in each other and more selfish. So it moves faster. But there are still those of us who want to move it slowly and want to do the right thing, and we don't want to be charged for everything. You pay for, back to that subject again, you're paying for your cell phone, and then you pay for whatever they are selling you on the cell phone, and they're taking you to an iTunes or this or that, and you pay for that. See, everybody's used to paying for something now. That's why gasoline is so expensive now. It's upwards of $2.50 on the average. We pay for every single move. And you wonder why there's no savings and why people can't take care of their own affairs easily anymore, rely on government assistance. So it's not only putting up the wall in the families and the wall to Mexico to keep people from coming in and taking our jobs. It's really the wall that needs to be built is one around our wallet to protect us from the government that doesn't function properly. You know what? The government ought to really start to understand that they have a guy in charge now, the president, who's a businessman. And there's a profit and loss. This guy's used to going bankrupt, and also he's used to making profits, both ends of the spectrum. So why don't we run the government that way? Let's either go bankrupt and file for it and start all over again, or else let's get going here with making some profits, and not by gouging the people who can no longer afford to go on the ride. See, that's the problem, is you got a lot of people who are desperate right now. And the middle people carry the bottom people. The top people don't. The top people trickle it down. Ronald Reagan said that, and you know that. They trickle it down, and the middle people get the jobs, and then we support the lower crowd. And we're the ones who pay the taxes. We don't have tax shelters, and we don't have all that protection that the very wealthy do. So we're the guys who really ought to be favored. You ought to be kissing our butts. The middle people keep this country intact. We keep it going. We're the ones that go to service and go to the wars. We're the people who manufacture all the goods that need to be used by the wealthy. And everything that is also available to the poor people usually comes from us who have the sensitivity. You have to change your heart, not your mind. That's the difference. And as an American, I will tell you this much: I fall short of the glory because I don't do all the things that I really know are right. And sometimes I'll just shortcut it. I would like to not. Let's be honest. Honesty is what brings joy. And I'm telling you the truth. I don't really do all these things that I'm telling you about, so I become a hypocrite. And the hypocrites are the worst kind of people to have in the world. I love what Jesus said. He was a great one-liner prophet. He said, don't tell someone that they have a toothpick in their eye when you have a board in your own. That was Henny Christ. He was doing the one-liners. Anyway, that's it for now. You come back tomorrow. I'll give you another dose from the home of the relatively unimportant. And remember, your opinion counts. Where? Well, just not to me.